Here on the front page, the country's fiscal commissioner Courtney Williams says there's no need to panic about the country's tax shortfall at the end of the last fiscal year. Williams says there's been an uptick in revenue collections over the last few months, which should go some way to offsetting the shortfall.
This is not a situation to panic, right? So there was a revenue shortfall in the last quarter of 24-25, just about $14 billion. And there was also a shortfall of a smaller magnitude, just about $1.5 billion in the first quarter of this fiscal year. Now, if you're going to have a shortfall, it's better to have that shortfall early in the year so that the government can take corrective action to actually bring things back on track. So within that context, I'm saying it's not a situation to panic at this time, but it's something that's worthy of looking deeply at it.
Courtney Williams, in its latest statement on fiscal performance, the Independent Fiscal Commission, the IFC, flagged a $14 billion tax shortfall at the end of the last fiscal year. This resulted in an overstating of the revenue base for 2025-26. The IFC cautioned that additional revenue may be needed to meet budgeted targets.
Williams says there's been a 6% improvement in revenue collection since the period covered by the report, but he warns that without adjustments to expenditure at minimum, a 9% rise in revenues is required. It's the kind of expansion in revenue collection that has rarely been seen in Jamaica's history.
For the period September through March of next year when the fiscal year ends, the revenue collection, tax revenue would have to increase by about 9.5%. And we have not seen that level of increase for the past 3 or so years. In fact, when we look at the past 10 years, excluding the COVID period, and I want to exclude that period because it was extraordinary, it would have been only three years where we saw tax revenue increasing by over 9% in the September to March period. So for most of those years, tax revenue did not increase by as much as the 9.5%, which is what would be required over the 7-month period from September through to March for it to come in line with target. So there's still a concern that the target for the revenue could still be missed.
Tax will hurt Jamaican people for the next 5 years. Tax will hurt the Jamaican people for the next 5 years. The government of Jamaica are scratching all about to meet its budget. And right now, they're looking at taxing the Jamaican people very high because they want to raise the tax to at least 9.5% or 9.5%. So people, if you not listen very keenly, you must know say supermarket price are go sky high. A lot of things is in this country are go sky high. Cost of living are go sky high. Jamaican people are go left on them face, can't afford food. Now this government are scrambling all about over. He must scramble to get money to make up his budget. Now, him recently borrow 15 billion locally for budget support. He also plan to lay off a lot of public sector workers. Send them home, go sit down on them backside. Now, I don't see why them did send home the hospital workers them were there. I don't see why them did send them home. I don't see why them send them home without explanation. Tell them say no money that they pay them. I don't see why. Now, a lot of you nurses, a lot of you teachers, a lot of you police officers, a lot of you public sector workers that went out there on September 3rd and vote for the Jamaican Labour Party. Let me say this to you. The government of Jamaica are planning to send home all of you. Them a plan for send on home, go sit down on a body. So a lot of people soon start scramble about fi get a job round this up, fi get a job round this up, and fi get a job round this up. Because the government have to cut public sector workers' job. Them have to fire, or should I say lay off, a lot of them. But I wanna choose that, I wanna choose Jamaica, so I wanna take what I wanna get. Blessed day to my viewers and my subscribers them. Me hope everybody having a blessed and a wonderful day. Now my viewers and my subscribers, remember, in everything you do, always put God first. In every and any situation, just always remember to call upon God. Always remember to pray, because a prayer a day keep the devil away. Now, my viewers and my subscribers, we have a lot coming up inside this update, so you definitely don't want to miss none. So remember, watch the video until the end and like up the video, share up the video, and subscribe to the channel. Make we run the intro and come back. We soon forward. Welcome back to my viewers and my subscribers them. Big up to all of my viewers, big up to all of my subscribers them. We continually support the channel and help the channel to grow. Now people, remember to like and share this video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed as yet. Now my viewers and my subscribers, me not really know how much I want to know what really are going on in other country right now. Me not really sure if I not really understand what's going on in this country. Andrew Holness did expect Mark Golding to win the general election. They all expect Mark Golding to win, right? So what they did was to set a trap for Mark Golding. Them set a trap for Mark Golding. Them empty out the country. Them no left back no money in the country. Right? So whenever Mark Golding win, he wouldn't have no money for his budget. So the country wouldn't crumble if him can suggest something fast. Or what he would have to do is raise tax. Raise everything. Raise tax for everything. And tax out the Jamaican people in life. Right? But Father God say, no, we now make Mark Golding walk in the trap there. We are going to put him back in the trap and make him fall upon his own sword. I want to follow me, people. So guess what happened now? Andrew Holness thief back the election, right? God make him go on with it. He thief it and God say go on. We now make Mark Jefferson Golding, an innocent man, find himself in that trap there. So him thief back the election, and at this moment, people, there is no money in this country for neither pay public sector workers or to fulfill the budget of the Prime Minister. So what the Prime Minister they plan for do now? The Prime Minister a plan for lay off public sector workers, like lay off a portion a teacher, lay off a portion a nurse, lay off a portion a police and people who working at the hospital, like the pharmacy people and them people who work with the government. They are planning to lay off a whole heap of them. Just like in America where them are lay off, them are plan for lay off hundreds of thousands of government workers. At the same thing, Andrew Holness have to go do in Jamaica right now. So for the people them, we choose Jamaica. The teacher, the police, the nurse, and all of them we work with the government. We choose Jamaica. I want to know say, you choose yourself out of a work. I want to know that, right? Now, Mark Golding would have to be the one to do all of that unless he could come up with a better plan. Right? So Mark Golding would have to be the one to make all of that decision. To raise tax on the people of Jamaica, sky high tax, so you can't even buy 2 pounds of flour anymore. Sky high tax and lay off whole heap of government workers, public sector workers. Right? Now, another thing that the government are doing is walking around a barrow, a bag of billions of dollars to put into the budget. One whole heap of billions of dollars him a borrow. Because him have to borrow from Yaso, him a go borrow from Deso, him a go borrow from Deso. Me want to follow me, you know. And me no want to feel like a joke me a make, you know. Him have to borrow from all both. Because him have to reach him budget target. And as me tell you before, no money, no in the country. And that's why you see from the other day, them a lay off the people we have work at the hospital and I tell them say, no money no they pay them. No want to no follow me. So God save Mark Golding from walking into a evil trap that Andrew Holness and his administration set for him. Before me go any further, I want to listen to the video. I want to listen to it very carefully and listen to what this pastor had to say, people. Check it out.
As a result of the slim or slender majority that the party which wins this election will have, any major decision they want to make, they have to negotiate with the others. Without a consensus, they will not be able to move forward. Now, as a result of many pending issues to be resolved, those who are being investigated, matters of corruption and so on, you're going to also be having a number of problems arising along the way, so that governing is going to be tedious. And that is going to pave the way for another election to be called by or before 2027. It is in that election in 2027 where you're going to see the righteous government emerging. A government for the first time in Jamaica, led by a righteous prime minister, one who will be unapologetic.
Well, as me say in my previous videos them, by the end of 2026, there should be another general election. By the end of 2026 going into 2027, there should be a general election. There will be a general election very soon, and that is the reason why you see them try very hard to cause some friction, division, separation in the People's National Party. That is why Cliff Hughes are working overnight to divide the People's National Party, because they knew that there will be a general election very soon. Why you think they been up face one and then call him Darrell Jazz from over Portland, let you know that he will be resigning by now and 2027. There will be a very, very early election. But me play that video there for show to say Mark Golding are the chosen one to lead Jamaica forward. You hear what the pastor say? After this election and the next election, few years from now, not 5 years, but a year and a half into 2 years from now, there come the righteous prime minister he will be the first righteous prime minister out of all. Mark Golding are different, very, very different. You understand me, I say, people? And that's why I said, nobody watch the nice. Just let us support Mark Jefferson Golding and let us stick together as comrade. Stick together as one Jamaica that want a change. Because me know say as soon as these people start getting laid off, me know say as soon as all of these things are hike up, food stuff, everything will start hike up with high tax, people are going to start protest. People are going to start realize who them really have a deal with. Me know say as soon as this man start to force the needs ID upon us, people are going to wake up, and there is when people are going to start taking it to the street, and there will be a very, very early election. It no matter the amount of sacrifice where this man a do. It no matter the amount of time where he want go foreign, go pray for wall or pray to wall, that now go help him. Because when God say a time, no man can go against that. And the time is near. The time is not far. The time is near because God won't allow the devil to destroy his people. And that is what this government are trying to do. Destroy God's people. And some of these people that don't even know what they might do, they're helping this evil man to destroy God's people. He was trying to destroy Mark Golding, but it just never worked out because God said the rake and said, you will go continue as prime minister. You are going to fall back in your own trap where you sit for Mark Jefferson Golding. And people, if you not look out on your eyes, if you not can see far, then you would see say, Andrew Holness definitely set an evil trap for Mark Golding Japina, for the People's National Party Japina. But him dropping it himself. Glory be to God. But people, before we go any further, let us play a video where the mayor of Kingston, Mayor Swaby, help the lady that her house get flooded out, everything wash where she lose everything, and she a cry for help over the past weeks, and nobody run to her rescue. Mayor Swaby finally run to our rescue and help our people. So we have to highlight that because when Mayor Swaby do good, we have to highlight it just like when other people do good. So people, more you check out this video. I want you all to check out this video, people. All right, we soon forward.
Shevans, City Engineer, Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation.
Terry Forrester, Parish Disaster Coordinator, KSAMC.
Now we're back here in Trafalgar Park where this house was flooded 2 times now. Tell me some of the work that the KSAC would have done so far on this particular.
Yes, the flooding was a result of a block drain that runs through private properties along Braemar Avenue. So there was a blockage between 2 properties. We stepped in, we had the blockage removed so the water could run off freely.
And that was for the second flooding?
So yes, after the first flooding, the investigation was still preliminary and then we have the subsequent rains. So after the second flooding, all the debris were removed and the blockage were removed, which included old washing machine, tree trunk and so forth.
And those are the stuff that you would have removed?
Yes, we have removed all those debris to ensure that the drainage is running freely to prevent a further reoccurrence.
fast forward to now, what are we looking at now? What is we see where the property owner would have tried to cover the road? What are we looking at?
Yes, so this drain that runs through the private properties, based on our investigation so far, not 100% complete, would suggest that the property owners would be responsible to maintain those drains. But what we have seen is something that is beyond proper engineering practices, malpractices, whereas there's no access point in the drain for maintenance purposes. So if for any reason the drain will be blocked in the future, there's no way that any personnel can go in to maintain and remove that blockage because there's no access point in this particular property on Braemar Avenue. So we'll be reaching out to the property owner to give them the proper advice because they would have gone and done it without our input.
I've seen the state of this lady house, and what is some of the things that the KCC is going to be assisting with?
All right, so the KCMC will be working with our partner agencies through the Welfare, Health and Health Committee of the Parish Disaster Committee, and we'll be working with our partner agencies to see how best we can provide comfort items and other items to the individuals that have been affected over the period.
You just mentioned comfort items. Can you give me an example?
Bedding, types of bedding, so bed, mattresses, blankets along that line, and any other item that we are able to provide based on the need.
This is an immediate thing that you'll be providing.
Yes, we will be working with our agencies to provide.
All right.
My name is Nadine Thompson, and I am the flood victim that was flooded out twice, on the 19th and on the 28th in Trafalgar Park.
And that is of September.
Yes.
Good. Fast forward to know what happened here. I know you have some visitors here. Tell me what.
Well, today we had the mayor and we have a few people, from KCC, who came to look at the gully in the back of not my property, but the property behind me. And right now, as we speak, the property owner that's behind me is casting the gully. He covered it completely. So I'm scared because if there's anything in the gully to block the gully right now, you can't get in there to clear it because he covered it completely. As you can see right now, it's cloudy, the rain is falling somewhere, it's only drizzling right here now. So I'm scared because there's no fence back there. It is just open because the first flooding brought the wall down and it is not back up as yet. There's nothing there. No chain link, no nothing. The property owner behind me is focusing on covering up the gully right now.
What is it that the KCC said that they will be doing to assist you?
KCC came today, they just left, and they're going to assist me with like beds and stuff like that. They're going to talk to Ministry of Labor and what any other resource they can do. The mayor was just here. He was very helpful by telling me what he's going to try and do to help. And he's liaisoning with other agencies to see what they can do to help me out.
And of course, you're feeling good about that.
Yes, because so far, yes. Because when the first flood came, we had people to help us clean up. And they totally cleaned the place up for the first. But the second flood that happened on the 28th, since then, nobody came to help. Right now, I have people inside there that I hired. I have to pay them on my own to clean up.
Now, people, before we go any further, I just want to put a little highlight on the NIDS ID because it is drawing very closer. I mean, hear some people say them can't wait to take it because it better off for them. Them have everything in a one because they can't bother for have passport, driver's license, TRN, NIS, everything all about the place. They rather have one. A lot of people still don't even realize the real danger of the NIDS ID. A lot of people won't even take the time out to use their smartphone to go on the internet and check out the NIDS identification. You understand me? I say? A lot of people won't even ask question about the NIDS. The NIDS is the same digital ID, you know. So I don't want to feel like I say the NIDS are different from the digital ID. Them just call it NIDS, but are the same digital ID. Just like over England. Them call it your British card. Them call it your British card everywhere. Them call it something different. You understand me? I say, but are the same digital ID. And for the people them, we call themselves Christian, child of God. For the pastors them, how comes when you now go out there go educate the people them about this needs or this digital ID? Wanna sit down and wait pan? Yo, me tell you, say you see somehow no, all uno sit down and do is wait pan church sister and church brother and people fi come on the church come through offering. But uno not do the work of God. Me I tell you the truth. But people check this out.
As from tomorrow, they're rolling out the digital ID worldwide. See what is happening in Britain, in South Africa, in many countries in the world. They're rolling out the digital ID. If there's tyranny, you don't comply. It is our responsibility as human beings not to comply to tyrannical rule. You have to say no. You have to say no. If you do not comply, they don't win. But if you comply, they win. Watch out for my lives and let's educate each other. Let's wake up humanity. You have to say no to the digital ID. This is going to take away your human rights. It's going to invade into your privacy. It's going to turn you to a perpetual slave. Guys, you're being pushed into slavery pro max. You know what slavery pro max? The entire humanity must stand and say no to the digital ID.
Warning, people of Jamaica. Say no to NIDS.
So there's something big happening to the world right now that almost no one is talking about. And I think in the long term, this is going to change the way we all live our lives. And I'm talking about digital ID.
This government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Now, it might sound like it has nothing to do with economics or finance, and maybe it sounds boring, but the truth is, this is one of the most important changes that governments are pushing right now, and it's happening almost everywhere at the exact same time. In the US, at least 25 states have already launched digital driver's license programs. That means you can now pull out your phone instead of your wallet when you check into a flight, for example. And in Europe, they passed a law last year that makes it a requirement for all member countries to roll out a national digital ID wallet by 2026. In China, they just launched their version this summer, which links it to their social credit system. Countries like South Korea, Singapore, Nigeria, the United Arab Emirates are already doing this with their digital IDs. Now, you might have heard of digital IDs before, but I don't think most people really understand what it is because it's not being debated or talked about in Congress. It's not really trending on CNBC, and most people probably don't even realize that this is actually happening. But what's interesting though is that the United Nations has made it one of their goals, quote, legal identity for all by 2030. And the people funding it, of course, the World Economic Forum and the World Bank. And now Europe and the US are writing all of this into law. In just the last decade, the number of national digital ID programs have doubled. Today, over 100 countries either have one or are building one right now. And when I first thought about it, at least on paper, it sounds kind of nice. It promises to cut down on fraud and make travel easier, and it onboards about 1 billion people who don't have any legal ID. But once you look into how much power this will give the governments of the world, you're going to be shocked. Once your entire identity is digital, whoever controls that ID can control a lot of power. And I don't think RFK Jr. is exaggerating when he said that this is turnkey totalitarianism.
It lays the groundwork for global medical surveillance of every human being.
So in today's video, I want to help explain exactly what this is, how it's going to work, how it's going to tie into our financial lives, and what you should be prepared for.
Now, a lot of people don't even realize that it already launched in Jamaica already. Now, I want to know, to check a flashback. Remember the government tell us, you don't longer need any sticker, the license sticker on your car anymore, because it upon the phone now, right? It gone digital. Your car document, them gone digital. When police stop you, police not ask for a document anymore. Police don't ask for a document anymore because all of that gone digital. So what the government are trying to do is that the government are turning everything into digital and down the nose. So when the time come, him just turn over everything and say, all right, then you have to have the digital ID for this work. You have to have on a digital ID if you got a license. That's why him telling you from a longer time that they will digital your driver's license. You're not going to have a driver's license anymore. Your driver's license are going to on your phone. What kind of style? The man say I'm going to digitalize your driver's license. That's why enough of the taxi man them did a protest. So the government of Jamaica have been changing a lot of things under our nose, and pay attention. And when people talk, on say them chat too much. Most things in Jamaica right now are already digitalized. You understand? So if we don't stop it now, dog, near supper later.
So with that said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well, cover the finance, and stay for digital IDs. So before I get into the details of how governments are planning to roll this out, let me first explain what a digital ID actually is, because I think when most people hear that, they just imagine it's a picture of your driver's license saved to your phone. And it kind of is that, but it's also a lot more than that. So a digital ID is a secure electronic form of ID that verifies who you are. Usually it's built on top of an app on your phone, and inside that app is all your personal information, which is then verified by a trusted authority like a company or a government. But there is a big difference between the physical version and the digital one, because digital IDs use something called biometric data, which are things like your facial recognition or fingerprints, with cryptographic encryption, so they're a lot harder to fake. And once you've been verified, that ID becomes reusable. That means you don't have to keep handing over your passport or your license to different companies, or even go to the DMV. You can just share that specific piece of information that they need. So for example, if a bar needs to know that you're over 21, the app could just say, yes, this person is old enough, without necessarily revealing your exact details, your birthday, or your full ID number. So on paper, it sounds like a convenient thing to have. It's more secure, there's less information floating around, so less chance for fraud. But as you're about to find out, you're going to realize that when you centralize that much power, the question becomes, what can they do with it? Because while governments and tech companies present this as a convenient and secure thing to have, the actual way it's already being used in some countries is a very different story.
We're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
Take China, for example. Just this summer, they launched their national digital ID app. But instead of it just being an upgrade from physical to digital, they tied it to their social credit system. That means their digital ID is not just proof of who they are, but it's also connected to things like their financial history, travel rights, and even their online activity. So what that means is, if the government doesn't like what they're doing, or doesn't like what they're saying online, or maybe what they're buying, they could restrict your ability to travel, to buy those things, or to access certain social services.
After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. He only realised when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from travelling.
So for all who make the video this far, please like, comment and share. Let me know what you thought. and this digital ID system. Do you plan to take it or not? Like, comment, and share. Now, just imagine Andrew Wallace control your bank account, every single thing that you have throughout your digital ID. Because remember, there will be a cashless system. So every single thing I got tied to one. Just imagine Andrew Wallace control you as a dictator, as a bully, right? How you not gonna live? Him limited time when you can, how much time you can get. Remember I said this man tell you when you fi come out of your house, when you fi go in, when you fi eat. This man want to program you people. So how the Jamaican people are gonna manage under this digital ID system? And as me telling you before, people, they will also limit the time that you spend on social media. They will limit the amount of time where you can travel from this parish to that parish. They will limit everything that you do in your everyday life. So how are you going to manage? And as I was telling you before, this is leading right down to the mark of the beast. So whenever it come, if you're not plan for techie, remember them control everything down to your health and them control your health. So what you gonna do? You just get knocking on one corner. So for the Christian them, for the pastors them, on the need to get up off on a little lazy backside. Stop rob the Jamaican people them about to not collect offering and teach the people them righteousness. Teach them the right thing. Until then, people, I just want to say, on a take heed, look out on your eye, and remember, love God, because God is love. Big up on yourself.